Where do you think things started to split off between Mitch Marner and the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Leafs fans are still trying to understand what happened. Mitch Marner is gone. He's now in Vegas. And he's not quiet. He's saying things, doing things, and playing like it means something. What he just told Toronto, it's loud. And what he's doing with the Golden Knights already has people talking. The message is clear.
This team, you don't replace a Mitch Marner? How do they do without him?
Well, yeah, you don't replace the point production, but obviously I don't think it's a bad thing for the Leafs or Mitch Marner for a change of scenery, because they haven't gotten over that hump come playoff time, and another great fight and battle against the Stanley Cup champion.
Mitch Marner is now a Vegas Golden Knight. He used to be one of the top players on the Toronto Maple Leafs. But this summer, everything changed. On June 30th, 2025, Marner was traded to Vegas. It was a big trade. The Maple Leafs sent him away and got Nicolas Roy back. At the same time, Marner signed a new deal with the Golden Knights. The contract is for 8 years and is worth $96 million. That's $12 million per year. He didn't wait long to speak up. Right after the trade, Marner made a post on Instagram. He wrote, "Leaving isn't easy. This city is where I grew up. Wearing the maple leaf was about representing my home." Marner said his goal was to win a Stanley Cup in Toronto, but that didn't happen. Marner played 9 full seasons with the Leafs. He scored 741 points in 657 regular season games. That's a mix of 221 goals and 520 assists. In the playoffs, he had 63 points in 70 games. In the 2024-25 season, he hit a career high, 102 points in 81 games. Toronto fans were used to watching him create plays, but some fans were also upset. The Leafs hadn't won a Stanley Cup. They hadn't even made it past the second round. Every year, the team lost early in the playoffs. Marner, along with other top players, got a lot of blame. Now in Las Vegas, Marner is starting fresh. He said the trade gave him a chance to reset. He wanted a team with a strong plan. He also said he wanted less stress and more focus on winning. Marner's move also helped Toronto save money. His big contract was a problem for their salary cap. By trading him, the Leafs made space, but it also meant losing one of their best players. Experts think Marner will play on the top line in Vegas. That means he might skate with Jack Eichel and Pavel Dorofeyev. He will also play on the first power play unit. That gives him chances to score more and help his team. Matt Martin, one of Marner's old teammates, talked about the move. He said, "Vegas is going to be a great situation." Martin said Vegas is a better place for Marner's personality. The media in Toronto was tough. Every little mistake became a big deal. In Vegas, things are quieter. There's less pressure and more time to play the game. In Toronto, the fans and media were always watching. Marner had to deal with high expectations every season. But now, in Vegas, he can just focus on hockey. ESPN gave predictions. They said Marner could score between 90 and 100 points again. They think his playmaking will help Vegas right away. His power play skills will give the team a big boost. Toronto got Nicolas Roy in the trade. Last season, he scored 15 goals and had 16 assists. He played 71 games. Roy is a solid player, but he's not Marner. Toronto now needs someone to fill that big role. His stats back up his choice. Over the last 5 seasons, Marner scored 450 points in 357 games. That's 7th in the NHL. Among wingers, he ranked 4th. He also had 47 primary assists last season. That was one of the best in the league. On defense, Marner played strong too. He led NHL forwards in takeaways with 56. He was also used on the penalty kill. That means coaches trusted him in tough spots. Vegas will use him in all game situations. They want him to create chances, score goals, and help shut down other teams. They gave him the big contract to be a leader. Toronto general manager Brad Treliving talked about the trade. He said there's no Mitch Marner tree out there. He knows it's hard to replace Marner, but the Leafs wanted change. They wanted to reset their team too. That trade also ended the Leafs' Core 4 era. That group included Marner, Austin Matthews, John Tavares, and William Nylander. For years, they were supposed to bring a cup to Toronto, but it didn't happen. The final message from Marner came when he signed the contract. He could have waited for free agency. He could have tested the market, but he didn't. He signed fast. He chose Vegas. And that sent a message. It told Toronto that he's ready to move on. And it reminded fans that sometimes even a hometown star won't stay forever. Now Marner is focused on what's ahead. He wants to win. He wants to show that he can lead a team deep into the playoffs. He wants a fresh start. The first step will be his debut in a Golden Knights jersey. It will be in the fall. Training camp will open, then preseason, then the real season. All eyes will be on him. Leafs fans will watch from afar. Some will cheer. Some will still be upset. But either way, they'll be watching. Because when Marner left Toronto, he didn't just go away. He made it clear he's not done yet. And his next chapter just might be the biggest one of his career.
Certainly, we approached Mitch to engage him on a contract. As is his right, Mitch and his representative wanted to wait until the year was done, and you know, as it became clearer and clearer to us that that potential may not be there, we tried to look at alternatives, right?
The real reason Mitch Marner left the Toronto Maple Leafs didn't show up in headlines until now. Leaked reports, secret talks, and sudden trades reveal a story that's hard to believe. It's not just about money or stats, it's about what happened behind closed doors and who knew the truth all along. The details are finally out, and they're worse than expected.
You know, I think that the day prior we got offered a trade to go somewhere else. My wife was 7 or 8 months pregnant at the time, and you know, we weren't really going to go somewhere that was maybe just going to be a short stint. If we were going somewhere, we were going to sign for an extension, you know, raise our child there and grow up there. And then we kind of heard that Vegas might be interested in doing a 3-way deal.
On June 30th, 2025, Mitch Marner was traded from the Toronto Maple Leafs to the Vegas Golden Knights. It was part of a sign-and-trade deal. He signed an 8-year, $96 million contract with Toronto. Then they sent him to Vegas. In return, the Leafs got forward Nicolas Roy. At the time, Marner said leaving Toronto was not easy. On Instagram, he posted, "Leaving isn't easy. Wearing the maple leaf on my chest wasn't just about playing for a team. It was about representing my home." Marner had played for Toronto since 2016. He grew up in nearby Markham, Ontario. During his time with the Maple Leafs, Marner played 657 regular season games. He scored 221 goals and gave 520 assists, totaling 741 points. That's one of the best records on the team. But things were different in the playoffs. Marner only had 63 points in 70 playoff games. Many fans and experts said that was not enough, especially for how much money he earned. Just a few days after the trade, more details came out. They changed how people saw Marner's exit. On the Cam and Strick podcast, Ryan Reeves, Marner's former teammate, shared more about the situation. He said fans in Toronto were a little ruthless to Marner. Reeves said, "Mitchie earned the right to go wherever he wants. He's dedicated his whole career to Toronto." Reeves made it clear that the pressure from fans was too much. He said people pointed fingers at Marner every time the team lost. That wasn't the only thing that happened. A report from Strickland said Marner had been thinking about Vegas for over a year. Even when he was still playing for Toronto, he was already talking to teammates about going to the Golden Knights. Some Leafs players knew, some didn't. But the locker room was clearly split. Toronto's general manager, Brad Treliving, has not said much about the trade publicly, but analysts believe he was frustrated. NHL insider Matt Larkin said the Leafs' offseason was a massive failure. He said they did not bring in enough new talent to replace Marner. Toronto tried to sign players like Nikolai Ehlers and Brock Boeser. Both signed with other teams. Now, Toronto has about $4.9 million in cap space left, and no one to fill Marner's spot on the top line. Nicolas Roy, the player they got in the trade, had 15 goals and 16 assists last season. He is a good player, but not close to Marner's level. Toronto also signed Matias Maccelli. Still, fans and media say the team looks weaker than before. Some Leafs players may have known Marner was leaving long before it happened. At the end of the season, during the exit interviews, William Nylander was asked how he felt about Marner possibly leaving. He laughed and joked about it, but when he was asked about John Tavares, his tone changed. He became serious. He called Tavares a great leader. The difference in his answers showed something important. Some players might have been fine with Marner going. The most shocking part is what happened with Ryan Reaves. Just 24 hours after he defended Marner and said fans were too hard on him, he was traded. Reaves was talking about Marner at a Vegas Golden Knights event, even though he was still a Toronto Maple Leaf. Some fans and experts say that didn't sit well with Treliving. It looked like Reaves was choosing sides. And in the new Leafs culture, that was not okay. Brad Treliving seems to be building a new kind of team. He wants players who are fully committed to Toronto. No distractions, no drama. The Marner-Reaves situation shows that clearly. Reaves said, "Sometimes fans want to point fingers." And in this case, it looks like the front office did too. Meanwhile, Vegas has added another top player to their already strong roster. Head coach Bruce Cassidy said he's excited to coach Marner. He said Marner's passing and creativity would help the team. Vegas now has stars like Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, and Mitch Marner in one lineup. This could be one of the strongest teams in the league. Some analysts still believe Toronto can be a contender. On TSN's FanDuel Overdrive, Jason Demers said, "You look at Craig Berube and the style he's implemented. You look at defense. You can win a cup without having 100-point goal scorers." That's a strong opinion, but many fans are not convinced. Toronto's offseason moves have left many fans confused and upset. The team has not won a Stanley Cup since 1967. They've had one of the most expensive rosters in the league. But year after year, the results are the same. Early playoff exits. The Maple Leafs culture was already under question. The leak about Marner planning his move to Vegas long in advance only made things worse. It showed a lack of trust and unity inside the team. When a key player is talking about leaving while still wearing the jersey, that creates problems. The exit has also damaged the fan base's trust. Mitch Marner was a local hero. He played for the team he grew up watching. Fans bought his jersey. Kids looked up to him. Now, many of those fans feel betrayed. Patrick Marleau, a former Leaf, once told Marner to chase every dollar. Ryan Reaves told him about all the good things about playing in Vegas. Those conversations happened while Marner was still with the Leafs, and they matter now because they show how long this plan may have been in place. Toronto's front office had been trying to trade Marner before, but his no-movement clause made it hard. He had the legal right to stay with the team if he wanted to, and he did. At least until now. Once his new contract was ready and the sign and trade became possible, things moved fast. But the signs were there earlier. Locker room tension, playoff frustration, and a team that no longer felt like a team. Ryan Reaves said, "Mitch earned the contract he got. He poured everything into the Leafs." But some former teammates didn't seem to agree. In Vegas, Marner gets a fresh start. No hometown pressure, no local media storm, just hockey. And for the Maple Leafs, it's a reset, one with more questions than answers. Now, Toronto must face the next season without one of their biggest stars. Their offense will need to find new ways to score. Their locker room will need to find new leaders. And fans will have to decide how they feel about the truth that finally came out. No one knows how this will end, but what's clear now is this. Mitch Marner's exit wasn't just about a trade. It was about pressure, planning, and a locker room that fell apart quietly until now.
As you said, yeah, it's only been a couple days since the season ended. Take some time to regroup, talk to my agent a little bit and family and all that, and make some decisions whenever that time comes, but there's no rush.
Connor McDavid told reporters he wasn't in a rush to talk contracts. Now, weeks later, there's been nothing. With the team in off-season limbo and big names signing elsewhere, McDavid's silence now speaks louder than ever. The Oilers are waiting. The fans are waiting. But the captain still isn't saying anything. McDavid's silence is now a problem. And this silence could change everything for the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid is the captain of the Edmonton Oilers. He is one of the best hockey players in the world. McDavid has played his whole NHL career in Edmonton since the team picked him first in the 2015 NHL Draft. His current contract is an 8-year deal worth $100 million. That deal ends in July 2026. Right now, McDavid still has 1 year left on that contract. He will be allowed to sign a new deal starting on July 1st, 2025. If he does not sign, he becomes a free agent in 2026. That means any team in the league could offer him a deal. But so far, McDavid has not said if he will stay or leave. After the Oilers lost in the 2025 Stanley Cup Final to the Florida Panthers, reporters asked McDavid about his future. He answered, "It's only been a couple days since the season ended. I'm going to take some time to regroup, but there's no rush on anything like that." He also said, "If I feel there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem." That was the last time he spoke about it. McDavid's numbers this season were very strong. He had 74 assists in the regular season. He scored 33 points in 22 playoff games. He had 7 goals and 26 assists. His teammate Leon Draisaitl had the same playoff point total, but McDavid still hasn't said what he will do about his contract. The fans don't know. The team doesn't know. Other NHL teams are now watching closely. Stan Bowman is the general manager of the Oilers. He said, "He's the best player in the league, most important player in the league. He's our captain. He's our leader." Bowman said the team's #1 priority is to keep McDavid. He also said the contract talks will happen when McDavid is ready. But NHL free agency is already moving fast. Teams are signing players. The Oilers have to make choices about who to keep, who to sign, and how to build next season's team. But without knowing what McDavid wants, the team can't plan fully. That has caused a problem. If McDavid leaves, it could be a very big problem. The Oilers have made the playoffs 6 years in a row. They made the Stanley Cup Final 2 years in a row, but they lost both times. Some sports writers are saying McDavid might not want to wait much longer. If he doesn't think the team can win soon, he could decide to go somewhere else.